Yo, what is up guys? What is going on? Zach or Immortal here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by once again. Today guys, we are jumping back into the world of Call of Duty World War II to talk about 100% the most controversial thing that will happen to the game this year. Or at least I would hope. If it gets more controversial than this, well then we might just be in trouble. But guys, tomorrow, Tuesday, November 14th, 2017, COD points are supposed to make their way into Call of Duty World War II. This has been known since pretty much the game launched. On the news section of the opening screen when he launched multiplayer, there was an announcement saying that on the 14th of November, on Tuesday the 14th, COD points would come to the quartermaster and you can use said COD points to buy supply drops, and who knows, maybe you can even use COD points to buy other things in the game. We won't quite know for sure until they are here, but guys, this is going to be one of the biggest controversies we see all year in the gaming community because of how poorly the launch went for World War II, and honestly, how poorly the game is still performing, which is such a bummer because even though this game has a lot of issues, don't get me wrong, this game has a lot of things that need to be combated very soon or this player base is going to die off incredibly quick. But I'm still loving the game. When I do get to play the game, and when the match works right, and when the game works right, it's such a fun game. But there are so many issues happening right now that are affecting this game, whether it be the servers, or the matchmaking, or what happens during said matches, different glitches, post-match, when the lobbies don't work, when your rewards don't work, you're not earning supply drops, the list goes on and on and on. There are so many problems with World War II right now that I think tomorrow, if they release these COD points and thus spiraling back into this microtransaction market that has overtaken the gaming community in recent years, there's going to be backlash like none other. You go on Reddit, you go on Twitter, you go on any social media, YouTube, whatever, and you look up Call of Duty World War II, you are going to see pages and pages and pages of posts trashing the game because of how many issues it has. For a AAA title to perform this poorly, even a week after launch, the game has been out for a little over a week at this point, 10 days today to be exact. Today's the 13th. If you're watching this on a different day, probably a little bit more irrelevant to you, but the game's been out for 10 days at this point. There's still massive server issues. Headquarters, which was one of the most highly promoted things about the game, doesn't even work right. You can't even join a headquarters lobby with other players in it right now. There's issues with the quartermaster challenges. There's issues with your daily orders and your weekly order challenges. Half the time it feels like XP doesn't even count in the game. On the topic of XP, that has been bugged for apparently a week or so, and we don't even know what the actual XP factor is in the game. Like, the list goes on and on and on about issues in this game that are seriously like major issues. These things cannot be happening in a game that is this popular. A AAA title like Call of Duty cannot be experiencing this issue, or these issues rather, and expect to have a positive response or anything that's not the bottom of the barrel negative, you know what I'm saying? And I still feel like there's a solid chunk of people who really do enjoy the game when it's functioning correctly, which is, I need to stress, very, very few and far from. But the game is still enjoyable when you actually get to play it for what it's worth. But because there's so many issues limiting the game and basically prohibiting you from playing the game for what it's worth, that just results in this overall negative image and negative association with World War II whenever it's brought up in conversation or it's seen on Twitter or YouTube or any other media. And come tomorrow, when supposedly COD points are supposed to be released, and Activision and Sledgehammer then in turn are forced to promote the COD points and promote microtransactions, that's just going to be seen in the public eye as these people care more about making money and getting a quick buck rather than actually fixing their game, which I don't think is the overall intention of Sledgehammer. I want to get that straight right now. I feel like that's more Activision pushing them, and I feel like that was an agreed upon time well before the launch of World War II ever happened, that, you know, 6, 7, 8 months ago, Activision sat down with Sledgehammer and said, hey, we're not going to have COD points on release, but come this date, let's say November 14th, we're going to release COD points and they're going to be in the game. And Sledgehammer's like, well, okay, you guys signed the paychecks and I guess that's what has to happen in order for us to continue making this game. And so it was set in stone. Now, maybe had they waited and said, let's release the game, see how it does, and then decide when to release COD points, they probably wouldn't be doing it tomorrow, November 14th. They might be waiting a little bit longer and focusing more on fixing the issues. But because I feel like that was a predetermined date by Activision, not by Sledgehammer, then Sledgehammer's going to just receive this backlash saying, hey, why are you releasing COD points? Why are you pushing microtransactions when your game, for the most part, is broken and it doesn't function correctly? You have all these issues that are limiting players and almost prohibiting players from playing the game, but you're perfectly fine with releasing COD points and making a quick buck. So this release and addition of COD points it could be disastrous for World War II. I certainly hope it's not like that, but just with how the game is performing right now, how it's functioning, or I guess lack thereof function in the game, this could be a major issue. Let me get your guys' thoughts and opinions on it down in the comments below. I'll be looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say about this. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up, slap that like button, it would be much appreciated, and if you guys are brand new to the channel, please consider subscribing with those notifications on, that way you never miss another upload. I will catch you guys in the next video. Until then, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.